Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, February 16th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. As a reminder, we do operate under a code of conduct which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. At the beginning of the call here, we have adopted a relatively new process where anyone who would like to introduce themselves is welcome to. I'll go first. I'm Caslin Fields. I'm a co-chair of the Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience, which this sub-project is part of. I'm also one of the co-leads of this sub-project, along with Chris. Yeah.
Cool. Hi,
I
I'm
do
Chris.
stuff.
Caslin does a lot. She does a lot more
Thank
than
you.
stuff too. But I'm Chris Short, and I am the co-lead here of Contributor Comms as well. Been around ContribEx for many, 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 many years. The project a little bit longer, and yeah, enjoy working with y'all. Feel free, whoever wants to go next.
Hello, my name is Ian Coldwater, pronouns they, them. I am just some guy and also co-chair of SIG Security, and I'm happy to be here with all of you.
Hello, I'm
Hey.
Franz. I'm the blog lead for SIG ContribEx Comms, also a release lead shadow for Kubernetes 130, pronouns he, him, and that's it.
Hi, I'm Mario. I I do a lot of stuff in the last week for Kubernetes newsletter, and I do technical work in SIG ContribEx comms, and I also am involved in SIG infra. And pronouns are he, him.
Hey there, my name is Vinesh Tripathi, and I hang around in the team of comms for I've been here for a quite while as well, helping folks around. Pronouns are he, him.
Hi, I'm Rijul, and I'm just an observer.
Wonderful. Nice to have
Welcome.
you.
Yeah, love to have it. Thank you so much for joining today, everyone. All right. We do also have a note taker role that we're adopting. Would anyone like to volunteer to take notes today? And I will try to stay out of your way.
I don't, but just the reason why I never volunteer is because half of the meeting at this hour I have to do in the car. So if I volunteer, I would only be able to do half. So apologies for that.
No worries, understandable. If nobody particularly feels like it today, then I will do it, but opportunity is open for you. I'll do it today.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. I honestly am still bad about stepping on people's toes with notes anyway, so it's something I need to practice.
You need to practice letting go. I need to practice focusing and taking them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned this
quite,
in
quite the opposing leads here.
I mentioned in a blog post that I did recently about productivity that my memory is terrible. So I have developed a habit of always taking notes if I'm paying attention, or it helps me to pay attention. And also I can't remember anything after a meeting. So if I didn't take notes, then it's all gone. So I have a habit of taking notes. So that's why it's a habit that I need to adjust to processes. But thank you all very much, everyone, for bearing with us as we try new things. So let's dive into our agenda today. We don't have anything on the menu yet, but as I say it out loud, perhaps things will come to mind.
I know that
Go ahead.
we had some topics that we said that we want to discuss based on
Oh,
things
you're
that
right.
came up on the ContribEx meeting on
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wednesday.
You are right. There was something about a guide for contributor documentation about surveys.
Yes, there we go. I knew it was surveys.
I
So
think
yeah,
yeah, do you want to review? Go
I
ahead.
mean, so right now the kind of the state of play is like Josh Burke is survey king,
yeah,
or survey champion, whatever you want to say. And that shouldn't be that way, right? Like we shouldn't have single people or individual people in charge of big community things. So getting the process of what makes a good survey figured out and then documented. Well, not necessarily a good survey, but how to do a survey with the community. And then additional feedback can get added on how to improve surveys after the fact. So long and short of it is we had SurveyMonkey, but it's just easier now that we have like G drives for all Kates.io. Just to create a Google form in one of the drives directories and go from there. So getting that documented should be easy. It's the what makes for a good survey that is just wow, hard process.
Yeah, I really think it needs to be documented because every time a survey comes up, it's like
Everybody asks, how do we do this?
yeah, it's way more. It's also always way more work than I think people expect it's going to be because like there's a bunch of rules or best practices. It's honestly unclear because it's all just kind of in Josh's head right now.
Well, there's laws, and then there's
Yeah.
best practices. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that are like about
GDPR is what I'm referring to. So yeah.
like about personally identifying information, how it's handled, and if you collect any of that. And sometimes you don't even notice that you're collecting it, and you definitely need someone to like review your questions. It's also really
Yes.
hard to word questions. I did an internship once, by the way, while I was in high school. I spent a few weeks with a professor of psychology at a local university, where like the main thing I learned from it was it's really hard to word questions to get what you want out of people without like guiding them. It's
Yeah.
very difficult. So it takes you got to have review, you got to take these rules and best practices into consideration, but none of it's really written down anywhere. And also like you got to find out what the tool is because as Chris said, it's changed over time. So there's a lot of stuff here that I think we should document. I think we can document. So we'd like to take that on as a project. I think what's going to be involved with doing this is going to be basically interviewing Josh about what he thinks needs to be in these docs and then turning it into a doc. Is anyone particularly excited about this? Do we have anyone who loves surveys?
Yeah, this could easily double into a like spotlight of some sort, like surveys in the community.
That's true. That's a good point.
Because you're going to be talking to Josh anyway, right? Like you can kind of say like a more like your guide, your directions could be nice, terse, bulleted list, but then you can have like, well, this is the why behind each one in a blog post. And you can also put that in the docs too, or whatever you see fit. So yeah, it could be blog post and documentation at the same time. So don't shy away from this one. You could get 2 pieces of work out of this.
And I didn't notice. I've been bad about noticing the chat lately. Like 5 minutes ago, Avinash said I can take this.
Nice. Jeez. Yeah, I'm bad at that too. Sorry.
Thank
Awesome,
you,
Avinash.
Avinash, for your interest.
Thank you. Yeah. No, just ping Josh. Best answer I can give you. And then maybe Mario might want to read the output and just see.
As a reviewer.
Yeah. I don't know, Mario.
Yeah,
you seemed like
I can. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted today.
Oh, you're fine. talking about surveys.
Yeah, I can review this. No worries.
Yeah, I'm bad at surveys, so I mean, I will also review it because I want to learn something.
The only important topic is always Avinash, is the problem with Google Forms is you can't have any comments. So if you
Right.
plan out things and surveys, make sure to put it into Google Docs beforehand,
Mhm.
that people can comment stuff. And also you can do if then questions for skipping paragraphs, but it's not that obvious. And then you basically skip whole sections. So you basically say like, hey, I select this, and then if I select this field, it goes to another set of questions. If I select field C, it goes to another set of questions, but you cannot chain them. So this makes them, especially managing them, really hard, because then your browser gets slow. I created a survey once with 10 different options and then 20 sub questions inside of those steps, and it's pure hell to.
That's a lot of CSS. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's oof. Cool. So thank you all. Let us know if you need help.
Hold on just a second. I've got to grab our meeting link. We had one more person who wanted to join who pinged me in Slack.
Oh.
And I didn't see it till just now.
All good.
They were having trouble finding the link. All right, I have sent that. Excellent. So this is going to be an adventure. I think it'll be a good project for us to take on.
Mhm.
Thank you for your bravery.
Yes.
We'll check back in on it next week. And see
So
how
yeah,
it's going.
I'll send you a link to the section of notes.
Oh, that'd be good too. Yeah. I was thinking maybe I should bring up those notes. There might have been a couple other things. Do you have the
I have
ContribEx
them
meeting notes?
right
Cool.
in front of us. Yes. So we talked about LinkedIn and how it's like our first end user platform. Did we already put in a request for steering to give us money for buffer? Okay, I can do that.
No, I still need to do that.
Okay. Steering request $4. So yeah, that's great. Mario has, or I forget who, sorry, not Mario, somebody has updated the Slackbot groups to include everyone that needs to be, including contributor comms, or not, contributor summit folks. So there we go. And then there's the blurb about the survey
Yeah, I did it.
conversation.
And we need to make sure that we basically update it again once the summit is over.
Yes.
I need to take a moment real quick. Could somebody else handle the notes for a second?
Yeah, I got it.
Cool.
Thought you could link to a section. I guess not. I'll just tag you up. All right. Moving along, since Kazlin's not here. Anything else for new items? Anybody? Hi,
If you're
Fasal.
talking about new items, this is Fasil. Good morning. My first time on this call. I co-organized the KCD LA chapter.
Nice.
Josh brought you in, right? Because you have knowledge about or your have experience with LinkedIn marketing.
I have experience indirectly. I have access to our internal marketing team where I work right now, and they are supporting me with setting up marketing and social media presence for the KCD LA chapter. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, happy to bring them in as needed. If you have any specific questions, I can definitely field those and report back on them as well.
Ooh. Well, in that case, I mean, what's the big difference between a Twitter and LinkedIn as far as content goes? I mean, is there any difference to what we should say? Obviously, we have a longer form and, you know, there's video content and all that fun stuff. But LinkedIn seems to be like the place to go for things now. So any help with using LinkedIn the right way would be much appreciated.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I've just set up the KCDLA presence on LinkedIn. It seems to me that there's definitely a much wider audience that latches on to content, whereas Twitter is, you know, it's a very rapid fire sequence tweets happening, and there are more chances for things to kind of be lost in the space. But I will definitely see if I could maybe put together a session and go over that hopefully in the next call.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining. I was listening while I was out. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. Our hope in having you here was to learn a little bit from you about LinkedIn and how we should use it and the unique things that we should consider. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of capabilities there. And Kazlan, I forwarded you an email from them today about how they're like tweaking the creator mode inside LinkedIn and everything. By the way, LinkedIn has a creator mode. It's great if you turn it on. It gives you some extra features and such. So if you want, go ahead, turn that on and check it out.
that's interesting.
Yeah, like it does a few things. Like it goes from, instead of connecting to people, like people like follow you by default, and then they have to do a couple extra clicks to connect, which is kind of nice. Posts keep coming back up. Oh, interesting. I'm reading in chat here. Avanesh said, also for LinkedIn, I have noticed that same post keeps on coming back for me. So maybe getting to know about how often one should post would help. Yeah, to connect people and not annoy. Right. Like,
Yeah, it's a definitely a different thing in different platforms. Because like Twitter, the advice that I've generally gotten is post as much as you want. Frequency is good on Twitter, but that may be a little bit
maybe
different on
not
different
LinkedIn.
platforms. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't looked at analytics or anything lately, but I post like 13 times a day to LinkedIn. I'm assuming that's way too much. It's called a fire hose for a reason, though. But we should not be posting 13 times a day. No, not this.
Probably. Not that we really push the limits of frequency of posting anyway. Except with KubeCon. We might want to do our KubeCon coverage differently on LinkedIn than we do on Twitter. Because
that's a good point.
our KubeCon coverage is like hourly.
Yeah, or more frequent than that sometimes.
Yeah. So that doesn't seem like it meshes with the way that LinkedIn does things. So we might want to instead do like a single daily post for LinkedIn. Interesting. That's a good thing to write down.
And also another note of interest in Buffer, LinkedIn, you can now also create the post and the first comment to the post at the same time, which is interesting, I think. So that's kind of cool part about Buffer and what they've done. So yeah, like you could get somebody with a headline or a video or a picture or something, and then put details of where to go find more info in the first comment if you wanted. It just, there's like everything about it is just tweak here, tweak there kind of thing, different. So it'd be great to know the best ways to use the features and tools that we have.
Also, I think I might have to do the request. So
Oh, okay.
I guess you can look into it, but I think I make the request directly with the CNCF.
Oh, you don't have to go
if you
through
ask
steering?
the steering, then they might have to make it for the CNCF. I think I just, I do a CNCF service desk request.
Yeah, like I've done those before. I guess.
Yeah,
Like
but I don't think you have
we need
access
the
right now.
issue. Oh, I probably don't. No, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I have to do it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Why
So
don't I
I
have
need to
access?
get on that.
Anyways, I'll figure that out.
Well, you have access as an ambassador and you have access as a SIG chair.
Ah, well,
I don't know if you have any roles
chair.
right now then
Yeah, I'm not either one of
necessitate
those.
that access. So you have been freed from it.
To some extent, yes.
Yeah. So I need to make sure to do that. I'll put that in the notes. Which has been in the notes for the last few weeks, but the last few weeks have been a little.
Tell me about it.
By the way, I second Abhishek's comment. I noticed that I'm also kind of new to obviously to this ecosystem. One of the challenges that I found as a first-time organizer with KCD LA chapter, but there wasn't really a run book, for lack of better words, on how to kind of go by, do X, Y, and Z things and overall expectations, which I guess is not the target of this group. But I'm happy to just like Abhishek mentioned, figure out how best I can help in addition to a couple of takeaways that I have from today's call.
So this is the right group. We do care about that. We have a Kubernetes developer site, and this is geared specifically towards contributions and contributors and not like Kates.io, for example, which is more of a, this is what Kubernetes is page and blog and so forth. So yeah, on that docs page, there's a new contributor course. There's a getting started guide, a cheat sheet, guidelines, and so forth. And then when you go over to resources, you can find the calendars and all of the stuff that you might need to go participate in other SIGs and such. For this group, this is a really good group for people like wanting to figure out how the project operates and then moving on to something else if they'd like. Because we do so much across the project for folks that you get a lot of exposure to the different SIGs kind of naturally. And that's just through the stuff we do. Caslin also dropped links to our charter and our comms repo itself.
Yeah. I'm also dropping one more in here. All right. So welcome to Contributor Comms. Our charter is essentially to make sure that contributors within the Kubernetes project, folks doing work to create Kubernetes or run the community, are aware of what's going on in the community. And to some extent that people outside of the community know about the great work that contributors are doing. So we have social media profiles in a variety of places. On Twitter, we have Kate's contributors. We do not own Kubernetes.io, which is the Kubernetes Twitter account, which is aimed at end users. Our audience has traditionally been contributors. We are trying to take on more responsibility with end users. There may be something where we take on some work with Kubernetes.io in the future. That's all kind of nebulous. Up to now, our focus has been on the contributor internal audience. So we have @Kate's contributors on Twitter. We just got access to the LinkedIn, which is going to be our first real kind of end user inclusive audience. We also have Mastodon. One of the biggest projects that we do that is great for new folks to join onto is blogging. So Frederico is our blogging lead. I posted in the chat a link to our blogging documentation. We have an ongoing evergreen project of SIG Spotlight blogs where our members interview the leaders of special interest groups within Kubernetes, because that's how Kubernetes is split up and how it does its work. And so you interview the leaders of those groups. You learn about what the group does, what help they need, things like that, and turn that into a blog post, which we then post on the Kubernetes website. which helps other folks learn about what the SIGs are and helps the SIG get the word out about help that they need. Yeah. So if you're interested in doing a SIG Spotlight blog post, as I said, those are evergreen. There's always SIGs that we haven't done yet. In that blogging resources folder that I sent out, there are the blog guidelines, so you can learn about sorry, I just lost my headphones. But you can learn about the general rules for writing blogs. Also specific things about the SIG Spotlight blog process, and also which SIGs have been done before. And I also sent. Sorry.
There you go. There's Federico.
And I also sent out
I'm listening. I'm listening. I would just add that obviously the spotlights are a great way to go because it's structured. We know the what they are, etc. But I mean the opportunity is there to do more stuff. For example, we also do on sub teams inside the SIGs, for example. That's another one. We recently are working on the Kubernetes book club one, which isn't strictly speaking anything around a SIG. So SIGs are one of the best examples, but there's more stuff that actually can be done as long as it relates with the developer and contributor community.
Yeah, and we have contributed or helped, review blogs that go elsewhere too, right? Like many big project-wide issues get reviewed by us just to make sure we're ready to respond if we have questions.
And if you're ever curious about like what our goals are as a group or who we are, check out our charter, which I also sent in the links. Also, I guess I'll mention, yeah, thanks for joining.
Appreciate you.
I mentioned that Federico is our blogging lead. We have a number of leads that take care of the different areas that our group works within. And you can find those role handbooks in the repo as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to get started and you're looking for something to do, I recommend a SIG Spotlight and talk to Federico.
Yeah.
Cool. Gotta do that spiel every now and then. Always an adventure. Awesome. Any other new items folks have thought of while we were doing all of that? Was there anything else from the comms meeting? Or the ContribEx meeting? This is the comms meeting.
I don't think so.
Cool. Any updates, big wins that folks want to call out before we hop into the board? Ooh. We can hop into the board and we'll probably find some there. Alrighty. Starting off on the board is the Kubernetes Book Club article. Super excited. How's it going, Federico?
So the publication date is set for next Thursday, and it's both PRs are open. One of them is already approved. The other one just needs the one that mirrors the contributor site one in the main website just needs some small adjustments after the initial review. So it's very close to being done. So I've shared the link. So if anyone wants to have a look, it's already there. It's previewable, and obviously until publication, it can be changed. So do take a look. But I have no reason to think otherwise, except that it will be one of by next meeting it will already have been published.
Exciting. Also, I just I realized a while ago and then forgot that I wasn't sharing my screen today. If anyone wants me to share my screen, let me know. It's usually something that I do. If folks don't feel strongly about it, I feel like we kind of mostly follow along ourselves anyway. Then I can leave it that way. But if anyone would like it at all, don't hesitate to let me know and I will be happy to share my screen. The
For
next
what it's
item
worth, I kind of like the not screen sharing. I kind of like being able to see everybody.
Perfect. That's useful feedback. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
I know in the ContribEx meeting, we usually don't share the screen, but in this meeting, folks had appreciated it and got something out of it. So I've tended to do it, but it's good to revisit that periodically. So
Yeah, no, I think
feedback
it's
welcome, always.
it's the navigating the board part that's different than ContribEx meeting, just straight up.
Yeah, true. And I feel like that part does not need screen sharing because I
Essentially.
don't know. We'll see. We'll explore it today. Unless, yeah. Let me know if you have opinions. But thank you, Frederico, for the update on the book club article. I'm so excited to see that go out. I doubt that I would love to say that I will review it before it goes out, but I probably won't. But I will read it once it does.
That's fair.
Yeah, so it goes sometimes. We've done PR reviews and blog reviews in the past, which the screen sharing helped with those. That's a good point. So it might be situational. Might want to develop some mental rules around when I should share my screen. Thank you for sharing some feedback, Avinash. Much appreciated. All right, let's keep going in the board. The next item is the SIG release spotlight by Nitish. So he has one part of that out. I think there's another part that he was going to do at some point. He's not on right now. I'm guessing, Frederico, that you haven't heard anything.
I mean, no, since 2 weeks ago. So no updates from there. But I can reach out to him before next meeting just to be sure.
I think I might move that into to do because that's essentially the state of this second blog post, right? Is it needs to be started. So I'm going to move that from in progress to do. Cool. And if you get a chance to check in with him, that'll be lovely. Or we'll check in with him the next time that he's on our call. Or never.
I'll do it during the week, and I'll have an update for next Friday.
Thank you, Frederico. All right, our next item is add a SIG architecture spotlight article. So this is the multi-piece one that you've dealt with having to herd cats.
It's movement there as well.
Nice.
So the documentation one, well, I was asked a couple of more days for personal reasons. So yeah, not ready, but ongoing. Already some content there. So I suppose that will be the other one. I have another one that I need to do a personal interview to get it done, but I'm still going over the correct schedule with Gordon on that. So, but it's there's also movement. There's only one in which I haven't received any feedback, but I have, well, one out of three is not that bad. By the time that I get the other two out, I suppose that I will have time to go after that one as well.
All right. Glad to hear that there's some progress being made in herding the cats. I feel like herding the cats is the right analogy for this.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So
I expect the documentation subset project one to be the one that's going to have a PR open somewhere in the next 2 weeks. I guess that's the next my target for it.
sounds good. And something that we're gonna have to start considering. Oh no, I need to start the KubeCon tweets project.
Oh yeah.
Ian and is our pit on? All right. Ian, we're gonna have work to do.
All right.
Sorry to insert this into the board, but I think I'll go ahead and talk through this for a second here and add that to the notes. So normally for KubeCons, I don't know if I've shown you the spreadsheet yet. There's a spreadsheet that we will put together where we list, here's the thing that we need to post about. This is oriented toward Twitter, so this is going to have to be adjusted slightly for our new LinkedIn platform. Here's the thing that we need to post about. Here's the time that it's happening. Here's the time that we want to send. It's usually like for reminders. It's like the next section of the maintainer track at KubeCon is starting in an hour and it has these things. So if you want to go, make your plans now. The keynotes at KubeCon are starting now. The contributor summit is today. Colos are today, you know, those kinds of things. So we plan all of that in advance and try to get all of those written before KubeCon. Usually it's best to try and get them all written at least like a week or so in advance so that we can get them all scheduled and they'll just go during KubeCon throughout the whole event. So I'll send you that sheet. It has a bunch of examples of past years so you can see kind of how it's worked. And I usually need some help herding the cats. It's a very beginner-friendly project. So we open it up to anyone. It doesn't have to be a member of our group. They don't have to have ever attended a comms meeting or a Kubernetes meeting even. But yeah. So I'll send you that sheet and examples and we'll talk through it more later. But wanted to give you a brief overview. Any questions about that?
Is the you there me or is the you there everybody?
What did I say you two? Everybody, I think.
Okay, you had called on me specifically, so I just wanted to clarify.
I called on you because since you've been in the social media area, I thought you might want to help like organize that. And organizing that entails setting up that spreadsheet and sharing it with folks. And updating the instructions page if we want to. So I thought you might be interested in that. You're welcome to say that you're not.
Totally.
Okay, I'm not, it isn't that I'm opposed to the idea of helping organize, but if it is a spreadsheet that you already have to be shared with contacts that you've already got, I'm not actually sure how helpful I'm going to be. I am down to help in some fashion. I wonder if there is something that is a little less self-contained that I can help with, you know?
It's not as self-contained as it sounds.
Yeah, like the idea is to get volunteers to write all the tweets for you.
Yeah.
So
okay, fair enough. No, I mean I just meant the spreadsheet itself.
oh yeah,
and sharing it. If that exists from prior KubeCons, then
it does, but we need to make the page for this KubeCon.
Okay.
on the dev site.
Okay,
well,
let's take
not on
Right?
the dev site,
Not
on the
dev site?
sheet
On the okay.
is what I mean. So we need to create a new
Yes.
tab in the sheet that is like, here are the things that we need tweeted about, posted about, and then here's where you will write the post. Here's where you claim ownership of this tweet, kind of like there's one other one that we have kind of like that. So it involves going through the KubeCon schedule and figuring out when the maintainer track blocks are and like key events are to make sure that the schedule of requested posts is accurate before we can send it out to people to ask them to write them.
Okay.
So
Do
I have
you want
examples
to-
of past years, but it's going to be a whole thing to get it all set up.
Okay. Do you want to get together at some point and like do this semi-synchronously? Just like have like a like, you know, Zoom super happy fun time and work on that together?
That'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, Slack me.
Sounds good. And if we have time here at the end, then I will bring up that sheet and show what I mean visually.
Yeah,
I probably should have just done that.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. Fair enough. Sorry to like be like, let's take this offline. I just feel like it's
No, that's okay. That is
like
a
you
good
don't
way to
know
handle
what
it.
it is. Yeah.
It is confusing the first time you hear about it.
fair enough.
And I always I wish that it wasn't, but I have not found a way to make it not yet.
Okay.
Got that.
Yeah, let's figure it out together.
Cool. Thanks.
No problem.
Yeah. We'll go over that more at the end if we have some time, but we have less than 15 minutes, so let's keep going through the board. The next item is more Federico. Sorry to split up your parts, Federico. But the next part is SIG API Machinery Spotlight.
Questions shared, but waiting for feedback. This is still in the beginning, so I don't have an estimate for that yet, but I will try to get one by next week.
Sounds good. So I'm adding a comment to your issue for that, saying
Yep.
questions shared, but waiting for feedback.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank
The
you.
next one is SIG Node, which is technically assigned to Arpit. Have you heard anything from him, Federico?
I think I by last week I updated the status on it. Yeah, then that's it. I mean, I have what I've discussed with Arpit last week.
Sounds
Nothing
good.
more. I think he was waiting on share inputs.
Yep. And the update in the board is document still not filled in by chairs. Arpit will insist at the next meeting. So I guess Arpit's attending the SIG meetings and pestering them.
That's what I got.
That's a good way to approach it. Awesome.
And refuse to leave before someone commits to a date.
Yeah. Pretty much how it goes. Next one is Cloud Providers Spotlight. Arujval had expressed interest in this. How's that going? Arujval was on, but I think he might have dropped off. Federico, have you heard anything?
I might be mistaken, but isn't that the one that we've been also discussing in Slack around the markdown, etc.?
Yes, I think so.
If that's the one, I've been following that, and just in the morning I shared my my comments on the markdown conversion that was done, with some suggestions, and so assuming that it's reasonably minor stuff just to get the knowledge out, but if the content is okay, I haven't still read it with the level of detail needed, but I suppose that the next stage is to open the PR.
Awesome. Yeah. You really moved along on that one. He got the interview done like within a week or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was intense.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Lucky. Honestly, half of it's luck. But thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. What I will propose is I will pick up the markdown stuff, open the PR, but obviously keeping the authorship information on his side, and then move along the process with the typical review, requests, etc.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Federico, for helping that one along. It's nice to see in the Slack. The next item is the spotlight on SIG security. Sriram had been interested in picking that up. He's not on today, but Federico, have you heard anything?
No, not for that one. I don't have any status update. I can try to have it during the rest of the week, but nothing for now.
Yeah, we should probably check in with him on Slack. It's not an urgent thing, but Sriram was interested in SIG security in general. So I think, is that meeting next week? Yeah,
It is
because it was
next
last
week.
week, right? Yeah.
It is next week, and Tabby and I have our designated sit around and look at PR's time after this meeting. So it's possible that she has been corresponding with Sriram and I don't know about it. So I will pretty much always have updates for stuff like that a week late. My apologies.
That's okay.
Oh, you're fine.
Nice thing about the Spotlight blogs that makes them fantastic for new folks is that they're generally not urgent.
Fair enough.
They get done at some point. That is wonderful. And there's a lot of roadblocks along the way with working with other people. So herding the cats.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Cool. So hopefully we can maybe make some progress on that next week. Next item is the help wanted post, which I keep forgetting exists after this meeting. So I personally have not been very helpful in running this. This Google Doc, and I'll grab this sheet
Ew.
is kind of based on the KubeCon tweets spreadsheet as well, where it's got like here's what we need information about, here's the owner, and the tweet is at the end. So it's like the reverse order, but it's similar content as what the KubeCon one asks for. Except that it's not based on SIGs, but like, yeah.
Genuine question, because frankly, I also keep forgetting that this exists after this meeting. And we're so close to next KubeCon at this point. Does it make sense to just
I think
declare this a failed experiment and like start up again with like not stale things from the next one?
To maybe chime in here, I know that Nigel is reaching out to all of the SIGs and SIG leads for the contributor call out for Paris, for the 15 minutes in the agenda. Maybe it would make sense to basically pair up with him and say like, hey, if you anyway get this information. So what I did, I shared our Excel spreadsheet with him so that he can get an understanding what we could do with this, so that people basically fill this out previously, but I don't have an actual current state where he is at for contacting all of the SIG leads. Because basically it would be double work, because he's reaching out to all of the folks and we try to reach out to some of the folks.
Did we lose Caslin? She just disappeared. Oh no.
Yeah.
Computers.
Yeah, fun. Oh, her internet. She just slacked me. Internet issues. Great. All right. Well, what were we just on? Sorry, lost track there. Talking about help wanted, right?
It was suggested that we pair up with Nigel, who is reaching out to SIGs about contributor comms, about the contributor call out. And I think that that is a good idea.
Yes.
I'm back.
Hey, what happened?
Hey.
Internet
My
flaky?
internet just totally died. Usually it just kind of dies, but this time it just
Wow. Fun.
yeah.
Yeah, so what I suggested, Keslin, was Nigel is pinging all of the SIG leads anyway for the call out session at Contributor Summit. And I shared our document with him so that because he was looking into how do I get structure and stuff like this. So maybe it makes sense to pair up to say like, hey, if you do register for this contributor call out, there's also like, should this go public? Should this go into various comms channels afterwards? And then we basically have a already acknowledged list of things to do. We can basically suggest people that they already write their tweets, and then it's only a copy and paste after Paris or even before Paris that we can just schedule tweets on a regular base on this. I think I have his sheet somewhere. Give me a second.
Yeah, I love that idea. We can talk with Nigel more through Slack about setting up what we need in his docs.
Yes.
You know, we had a big discussion at one point about the process of how they're gonna get all of the information for that. Awesome. And we only have 3 minutes left. So there's only a few items left here, so I think we might be able to run through them real quick. The next item, Mario, I think is you. Oh no, yeah. Establishing a process to prevent duplication in LWKD articles.
Yeah, still ongoing. I was basically out the last week because of Carnival. Sorry.
No apologies there. Good. Good to enjoy yourself. Hopefully you did. The next item is set up LinkedIn on Buffer, which is still a me thing. I apologize for not getting that done yet. I was thinking about trying to do that yesterday. Hopefully I can get to it today. We'll see. It's on my corner. Next one, automation. Use the Zapier code tool to eliminate manual labor on YouTube when uploading SIG videos. Sounds like that's well underway, ongoing.
Yes. Mario, have you had luck? Carnival? Got it.
Sorry. Can you repeat the question? I was just looking up Nigel's spreadsheet.
The stuff Nigel does after something gets uploaded, the Zapier code webhook thing.
So what actually works is if we immediately publish the video. So when we upload the video and it's immediately being published, then we can add it to automatically add it to a playlist. The thing there is still figuring out how we get the playlist out of the title or the metadata of the video. The only and Bob said that in the whole history of uploading automatic videos, there was only one time where a video was not published because someone reached out. And I think
we can just go ahead and push the button, it sounds like.
Yeah, this is, I think, a risk that we can take.
Sounds reasonable to me.
So what I will do, hopefully next week, is I will try this once more with my with my YouTube channel thing that I created, upload it, match it to a playlist, and see if the video is listed inside of the playlist. And if this works, we can basically ping Nigel and say like, hey, let's try this for some days next week or the week after next week to automatically publish things.
Cool.
And then we have automated Nigel.
Awesome.
Which is the goal.
And that's an excellent note to end on. We are at time. The last couple of things in our in progress column, by the way, are add all use cases for Zapier automation. So more Zapier stuff. And then the sensitive communications process, which we started working on with SIG security. Since their meeting is next week, I think maybe we update on that next week. And hopefully at least I can attend that. Anything you want to say after time?
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, we're slightly beyond time, but we can keep the recording going. But if anyone needs to go, feel free.
Yeah, so I was sick last week, so I didn't go to the meeting and didn't get much done as a result. Yeah. And this week has been just wild. So like I've created the outline and put like 2 or 3 thoughts in, but next week I'm on vacation. So
okay. Well, I'll be here to help push it along next week. So
I'll make sure you have that doc.
The outline. Yeah. I remember I had it. So if you send me the link again, I can have that fresh and I'll try to attend the meeting. And we'll try to talk about that.
Cool.
Awesome. So we are a minute after. Any pass the buzzer items that folks want to mention before we stop the recording? All right, sounds good. So I can stop the recording now, or I have a few minutes, so I can go ahead and go over the KubeCon thing, the KubeCon posts. We can also do it again next week. I might just leave the recording running for that because it's kind of a thing. Are folks cool with that? We only have a few left.
I'm good with it, yeah.
Cool.
I have a hard stop at 1. That's all.
Cool. I'll go ahead and share that then. I'll just go ahead and stop the recording because I'm probably going to do this again later on another meeting. And if you
Nice.
are watching this recording and you would love to see me walk through the KubeCon process, you can also find it in previous years. Maybe look
Nice.
for a meeting or two beyond this. All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Thanks for joining today, everyone, but we only have a few people left anyway. Oh, it's not recording anyway because I dropped off. It hasn't been recording since my internet died.
Oh
But it
no!
says it's recording.
It does.
Oh,
Still
it does say it's
it.
recording.
Yeah.
Wait a second. So I guess
Yeah,
it
I think
is.
Maybe-
if you have that,
Oh,
that
I'm not
needs to be easily
host.
automated.
I think
I'm
maybe
not
it
host.
jumped host to me because I was second. So do you want me
Yeah.
to stop it?
Yeah, you go ahead and stop the recording. So we did get
Okay.
it. Just